I rode in an ambulance on the passenger side once before because my friend is an EMT. So I'm like, why they didn't cast me in this movie? And welcome to my safe haven, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and clicking on one of my videos and joining me for a review here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. If this is your first time checking out one of my videos, thank you so much for checking out my channel. Hey, how's it going? My name is Michael, Black Gay Comic Geek. I always say the things that I love to talk about in my fantasy and on my channel has blood, sex, gore, and magic, or any variation of the four. So I like to talk superheroes, I like to talk about comic books, I like to talk about video games, I like to talk action movies, I like to talk sci-fi, I like to talk fantasy, and I like to talk black representation and queer representation. So if that's something that you are interested in, and if you enjoyed this review, please check out the other videos on my channel. And if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and become one of my over 5,000 safe Gaveneers on the channel. And for this particular review, this will be the variation of the blood, sex, gore, and magic, because this is a normal, everyday action movie. There is no magic, there is no supernatural, there's no sci-fi, which is the bulk of my channel. It's just a straight up action movie. And honestly, when I got the invitation for this, I was like, I'm not that interested in seeing Ambulance. I literally said, there's no magic in it, but I was like, you know what, this is the first Universal screener that I ever gotten, so thank you so much, Universal, for sending me the screener. Hopefully I also get Jordan Peele's Nope and some other Universal movies that are coming out this year. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go and I'll talk about, obviously I'm gonna give my review, but typically most of the stuff I review on my channel is mostly fantasy related. But yeah, every so often I do step out of that, but for the most part I try to stick to the fantasy genre. And so this movie surprised me. The synopsis for The Ambulance is: needing money to cover his wife's medical bills, a decorated veteran teams up with his adoptive brother to steal $32 million from a Los Angeles bank. However, when their getaway goes spectacularly wrong, the desperate thieves hijack an ambulance that's carrying a severely wounded cop and an EMT worker. Caught in a high-speed chase, the two siblings must figure out a way to outrun the law while keeping their hostages alive. And this movie is directed by Michael Bay, and it stars Yahya Abdul-Mateen, Jake Gyllenhaal. Both of them are my husbands. My list of husbands is like super long at this point. And it also stars Isa Gonzalez. And I was like, I'm not that familiar with her, but then when I looked up her IMDb, she was in Baby Driver, which I've seen, and another movie which I reviewed here on the channel, Bloodshot, and I'm like, I don't remember, but whatever. And yeah, like I was saying, like, this movie really surprised me. Like, I had no expectations, low expectations going into this movie. I don't know. I was like, all right, it's just probably going to be a generic Michael Bay movie. You know Michael Bay, he loves his explosions. So there's going to be plenty of explosions in this movie. But like, there's probably going to be really nothing going on for this movie. I'm really just going to support it because one of my husbands, both of my husbands, but mostly I was going to see it for Yahya Abdul-Mateen. And I'm happily here to report, like, I loved this movie. Surprised, like, I walked out of this movie, like, I was like, I cannot believe how much I really enjoyed this movie. Obviously, like I said, it's a Michael Bay movie, so there were plenty of Michael Bay-isms with the explosions. And actually, interestingly enough, he didn't have the typical Michael Bay sexy girl shots that he usually has. Like, think about what he did with Megan Fox at the Transformers movies. He didn't have that. But like the explosions, and there were certain moments where you could definitely tell Michael Bay got a new toy. He got a brand new drone, because the way he did the cinematography with the drone shots, like there were certain moments where I started to get dizzy with the way the camera was moving. But outside of that, this movie felt like a roller coaster ride from start to finish in all the best ways. And I'm a huge roller coaster. Like, I love riding roller coasters, whether it's at Six Flags, Disneyland, or anything like that. And that's what this movie felt like, again, in all the best ways. Like, this movie started on high speed from the very beginning of the movie, and it never ended. Obviously, there were some moments of lull, but for the most part, this movie was on like high speed from start to finish for the entire, this movie is like a little bit over 2 hours. 2 hours and 16 minutes. I just looked it up. And for the entire 2 hours and 16 minutes, there was not a moment of boredom throughout this movie. And a lot of it just had to do with the stakes and the action of this movie. And honestly, while watching the movie, even just reading the synopsis, I was like, this is a very American movie in the sense of a movie like this couldn't happen in Europe, sadly, because, and not sadly for the Europeans, it's sad for America because just based on the synopsis where I said Yahya Abdul-Mateen's character, he couldn't afford and he was struggling to pay the medical bills for his wife. Yeah, they don't have to worry about that in Europe or any place, not even just Europe, but Australia, most countries in the world, because they have single payer universal health care. It's taken out of their taxes. Here in America, we're trash. So this is a very American movie, unfortunately. But yet, we're the greatest country in the world, despite being the fact that we're the only country in the world where people go into debt from medical bills. But anyway, like, me saying that I went to this movie mostly for Yahya Abdul-Mateen, and like, they were the ones that really, like, their performance, but Yahya Abdul-Mateen and Jake Gyllenhaal, their chemistry together was incredible. And they played, like I mentioned in the synopsis, they're adopted brothers. Yahya Abdul-Mateen's character was adopted into Jake Gyllenhaal's character's family. They're brothers, and Yahya Abdul-Mateen, who plays William Sharp, was adopted. He was adopted into Jake Gyllenhaal's family, who plays Danny Sharp. And you definitely felt that dynamic. The two of them grew up together. You felt that they were brothers. And the thing that I love throughout the movie is, yeah, people obviously reference the fact that, oh, y'all are brothers, like one's black and one's white. Obviously, it was adoption, but I love the fact that both Jake Gyllenhaal and Yahya Abdul-Mateen is like, no, regardless of whether, like, that's still my brother. That's not my fake brother. That's my real brother. And I love that. Like, their chemistry was so incredible together. And speaking of, like, incredible, like, as much, of course, I love Yahya Abdul-Mateen, and he was great in this role, but like Jake Gyllenhaal as Danny Sharp, his character was like so unhinged, and there were moments where I was like, this is some white people shit. But just like watching it, I was like, Jake Gyllenhaal is really killing this performance. I'm loving Jake Gyllenhaal in this role. And part of me was like, I definitely feel like there's only a matter of time before he gets like a Best Actor Oscar or something. But like, and even though both Yahya and Jake Gyllenhaal are the two bigger names, and I mentioned I went to see this movie specifically for Yahya, Isa Gonzalez is also on the poster. And even though I mentioned I've seen her in 2 movies and I don't remember, I'm definitely remembering her after this movie. Like, she was incredible. Like, there was not a weak performance. Like, there's 3 people on the poster, and she was just as strong as her co-stars, because I definitely, like, I was totally dialed into this hostage situation, and her performance, like, I can't praise it enough. Like, she was incredible in this movie. This is the funny thing, like, when I went to go see the movie in my screener, for the most part, looking around, I was one of the youngest people in the movie theater. And despite that, like, this movie was so high octane with this action and everything like that, even the people in the audience with me were like super engaged with their reactions. Like, you thought we were watching live theater, not in an annoying way, but like, there was a woman, a much older black woman that was sitting next to me, and like, and she's not the only one, but like a whole bunch of people were like, oh my God, or like the reactions from the audience. And I was just like, and they were like industry professionals. Like, I heard somebody before the movie started sitting behind me talking about how he just wrote for Esquire and Rolling Stone, and here I am just like, damn, I just got a YouTube and a TikTok channel. And not to diminish that, but I was just like, I'm nobody compared to these people. But even them, they were enjoying themselves so much that they still had an audible reaction to the movie. And me, my background, I come from live theater. I have a theater degree. So like, audible reactions from the audience, I live for that. That's usually how you get your energy. Like, as an actor, you get your energy from the audience a lot of times. And granted, obviously theater is different from, you know, seeing a movie screen. So obviously you don't want people talking the whole time during a movie. You don't want that scary movie moment with Regina Hall's character. Don't go in there. What you doing that for? Like, you don't want that. But like, moments here and there, even like during comedies, hearing laughter from the audience, like that's also what makes the movie experience great. Like, I think about Avengers Endgame, where spoilers for Avengers Endgame, where Captain America got the hammer from Thor, and the reaction from the audience, or the spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home when Daredevil shows up, and when Tobey Maguire showed up, when Andrew Garfield showed up, and the reaction from the audience. Like, those certain moments are what make the movie-going experience great. And there were a couple of moments like that during this movie. And then also, like, the thing that I really enjoyed about this movie is they didn't also, despite the seriousness of the circumstances, they also didn't take this movie all that serious, and they knew how to laugh at themselves and poke fun at themselves at certain points. And there was definitely moments of comedy in this movie that I thought was funny. But yeah, but overall, like, I'm just totally surprised at this movie. And yeah, like, obviously, to throw some negatives, it's not like this movie was perfect. Yeah, there were certain moments where you do feel like the movie dragged on a little bit too long, and then you could tell like certain plot things or decisions that these characters made didn't make any sense. But overall, I really had fun with this movie, and despite the fact that I wasn't even excited to go to this screener, and coming out of the movie really enjoyed, like, I would say as of right now, Ambulance, The Batman, and Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I will review probably after I record this, those are my top 3 movies of the year so far, in no particular order. But the fact that Ambulance is on this list shocks me. I was like, a Michael Bay movie? Really? But yes, Ambulance, The Batman, and Everything Everywhere All at Once are my top 3 favorite movies of the year so far. So for me, I'm going to say, and obviously, like I said, this movie's not perfect, but for me, in terms of the experience of it, for me, I'm going to say Ambulance is a blockbuster, and I'm definitely going to buy it on Blu-ray to take a rating from Jeremy Johns. But the question is, I'm not sure if the movie's out yet or if it's come. I haven't looked at the release date, but the question is, are you guys going to see Ambulance? If it's out, have you seen Ambulance? What did you think about it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, if you can, hit that thumbs up button and like this video to really help out the channel. Also, if it's your first time checking out one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. And if you like what you see, please subscribe for more and hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I will catch you guys next time.